Welcome to part 39 of the Kicho Wong Dong series. Extremely excited to be doing this tutorial for the flying side kick Idan Yup Chagi. This is the Tangsudo kick. It's on our badge, it's on our flag, and again, this kick can be used in free sparring, but for me, it's a real confidence builder for students. And also, if we're looking at martial arts as a journey of perfection, flying side kick is one of those kicks that can take years. What I say to the students is you're trying to make your kick look exactly like the practitioner in our emblem. And it can take a long time to master. Before we get started, just to explain the terminology, Idan means two-step or second stage. So most of the times when we've done kicks in previous tutorials like jump snap kick and jump roundhouse, it's been lift one leg and then kick with the other leg. The flying side kick is different to that in the fact that you are now leaping off the left leg and then jumping, the flying aspect of it, much like a long jumper or triple jumper would take off. The warm-up is all about the takeoff. You need to teach students that it's different from a normal two-step, let's call it. It's different from a pop kick, and it is a flying motion. So what I get people to do is I get them to run and jump. And usually we jump over an object or a certain distance apart. Once you're jumping forward and you've got that confidence of picking up your knees, traveling forward, traveling with distance, you then turn to the side. I am running towards the object. I leave off my left leg, push off that and get that as close to the object before I jump. So I'm not too far away before I start my jump. And then I'm going to turn my body side on. So I am facing the direction and my right leg is forward, my left leg is underneath me. And usually I will stand on that side so students can look at me, teaching them to turn their hip over side on. So the actual kick itself is a turning side kick in the air. So start off with doing a turning side kick. You've got your side kick down, excellent. You then add a little step. So for example, you have your right leg forward, you step forward with your left leg and then throw the side kick. And you just do that faster. And once you've got that idea, what you're going to do is push off with your left leg as you step forward and do the flying side kick in the air. Doesn't matter if you kick low, all it matters is that you're stepping and lifting, getting this idea of being in the air as you throw the kick. And it's a good idea to do this on a shield or a wave rider so you get some sort of impact and get that idea of how high you're going. In free sparring, you can't really run at your opponent, but a run can really help for confidence, for clearing. So you can take a couple of steps or you can sort of jog or run, totally up to you. But the takeoff goes, you run and go in a straight line, and then whatever your takeoff point is, it's the left leg leaves the floor last. You tuck up and bring that leg as close as possible and then kick. Now, if you've never done this before, this will feel quite strange compared to your other jump kicks, but when you get it right, you will have a feeling of being in the air for the second. You might be bringing your leg up straight first, so make sure as you lift, you bring your knee in. At the very peak of the kick, you kick out and then always land safely on the balls of your feet with your knees down. There are some extras that make the kick look more aesthetically pleasing. The main one is with your non-kicking leg, you tuck it up to your body. Tuck the leg with the flat of the foot to the kicking leg. And again, the aesthetic of the kick is you're trying to make the back leg tuck up and kick your leg out at the same time, and this makes for a very aesthetically pleasing photo finish. And with your hands, you're trying to get them in the guards up position, but again, there are various ways you can hold your hands as I'm showing now. This up to you. So I'm going to go straight to common mistakes now because these will really make a difference. The number one mistake I see is people running in a circle to do the flying side kick. I don't know where this comes from, but a lot of people do it. They just run out and it's not necessary. You run straight, the shortest point between two spaces is a straight line. Just run in a straight line, you'll have more momentum and be able to jump further, higher, so forth. The next common mistake I see is people not lifting the leg in. So what they do is they lift their leg straight and try and kick straight. This would be incredibly dangerous if you connected with anything, and it takes away all of your momentum of jumping high. So make sure that you're like a basic, has three parts, chamber, extend. Recoil, same thing. You chamber, kick out, and then bring in. And the more you bring the knee in, the more power you will have. The next common mistake I often see is the real difficulty of thinking that the side kick is like a normal two-step kick where they will lift off their right leg instead of their left. And again, I'm assuming that we're kicking right-legged. The dominant leg, the kicking leg, leaves first, and the foot that pushes off the floor last is your non-kicking leg. And again, I know I said it before, but it's such a common mistake. It slows people down. So again, go back to the basic and really tell yourself, like, go slowly, left, then kick, left, then kick. And then you, like everything else, you just get faster and go for it. The two-step side kick is possible. I've done this kick many times, but it is not natural, especially for students who are first learning the kick. It will make it too difficult for you. I often say to students, there are rules when you are learning, and once you know the technique and you've done it 1,000 times, then you're able to break the rules. But if you break the rules at the start, you're going to leave yourself high and dry. So as always, once you feel you have the technique down, it is always important to test it. We've got some real fun games for this. These are games I play with my students all the time, again, to bring up that confidence. So the first is height. We put something on the floor, an object on the floor, and the students jump over it. And the one thing that I like about this is it encourages you to pick the back leg up, because otherwise you'll catch on there. And I'm just going to show footage from various classes where we are jumping over something, getting higher and higher. What it does is it brings the students to jump higher and confidence, and often, you know, they look at it and go, oh, I'll never make that. But if you build up slowly, you will make it. And it's a game that's a lot of fun and will really, really help to improve your flying side kick. Opposite of that now is what I call the distance game, where we are jumping for distance. Now, what this one does is it teaches you to travel further forward and get that air time. Now, the air time for me is the greatest feeling. Again, it's only a second, if that, but while you're up there, you get a real sense of freedom, and that flying feeling is unbelievably well. And our instructor used to do it all the time, to jump up to 6 people. I don't use people these days, I use shields on the floor just in case, but the idea was we'd clear that, and it's that overcoming barriers is very important. The last test now is to physically break a board. Back in the day at green tag level, we used to have to do a flying side kick to break it, again over 2 people I think it was. But the instructors would always say for flying side kick, no practice run, just go for it. And the idea is that you're now going for height, distance, and you have to be accurate and kick with the blade of the foot. And I know I haven't talked about it before, but you should have a good understanding of the side kick and the area of the foot to kick with. And what would happen often is really strong, big guys try and break the board and kick with the flat of their foot, and it wouldn't break at all. So as well as getting that height and distance, you also need to keep the basic of the flying side kick, going back to the idea that your basics should be in your extreme or advanced kicks, and then those advanced kicks should then strengthen your basics, and don't ever disconnect the two. So thank you very much for watching this tutorial. I hope I gave this kick justice. Just know that I didn't get it straight away. My kick was there, it looked one way, and I would go back and refine it and refine it and refine it. And now, after all these years of training, I'm still going back and refining my flying side kick. I am now trying to make my left side look as good as my right. Again, it's difficult, it's a challenge, but that is what I love about martial arts. Please subscribe and like the channel, and comment below if you'd like to see any other tutorials in the future. Thanks.